Hey everyone, my name is Julianne Condia. I'm coming at you live from my home office in San Jose, California. It's rainy today, but I'm really excited because my in-laws are visiting and I wanted to come at you today to talk to you about isolation. It's really cool. My church, South Bay, here in San Jose, actually talked about this on Sunday, but it's something that I've realized that I'm really good at is isolation. Let me break this down a little bit for you. I made a post in Choose Happy or on Choose Happy. That is my like page. And first of all, if you're following me, my biggest mission is to empower you. If you find yourself comparing yourself to me, unfollow me, delete me, please, because the point of following me is to feel empowered that you can do it too. It is not to compare your start to where I am today. It's not to compare your life to mine and feel bad about yourself. The only reason you should be following me is because you feel empowered to live your limitless potential. So I want to throw that out there because I have struggled with comparison in the past and sometimes even to now. I work on it and I can recognize it, and comparison can just rob you from life. It can just really tear you apart. It can mess with your mind. And I do not want you to compare yourself to me and then get frustrated or feel not good enough. So following me, it's for empowerment, because I hope through my messaging, through my social media, that you've been able to realize that I'm only sharing my story so you can feel like you have enough. Hi, Amy. Yes, sister, it really is. It is so important to put blinders on, and it's so important to feel empowered by other people, but know your worth too. And it's really hard when you're surrounded by other people thinking you're not good enough, and then it messes with your performance, it messes with your mind, it messes with the way that you look at yourself in the mirror. It just messes with every part of who you are. So I talked about isolation, and this is crazy that my church talked about isolation, because isolation is something I'm really good at. I am really good about not talking about how I feel. I'm really good at doing things on my own. I'm really good at being independent. If I want success, I'm going to find a way to get it. A lot of people ask me, well, how do you find the motivation? How do you do it? Where it's just like, if I want it bad enough, I'm just going to do it. I isolate myself also from other people and asking for help. I isolate myself from being vulnerable. I isolate myself and put myself on a lonely island a lot of times, and because I think I can just figure it out myself. And this is something that coaching has brought out of me, that I've realized my weakness is isolation. And isolation is usually bred from insecurity. And isolation is usually bred from feeling inadequate. So it's kind of hard to admit that sometimes, because I am a really confident person, and it's really hard to admit certain things when I don't have it all together, because a person like me doesn't like having weaknesses. A person like me doesn't like being wrong. A person like me wants to have it all figured out. I don't like messing up. So when I put myself on a lonely island, I'm only making sure I'm taking care of myself, right? So coaching for me has been able to open up that, wow, Julianne, for a lot of years, you've gotten really good at isolating yourself and hiding yourself. It's those three questions, right? What are you hiding from? What are you hiding behind? And what are you hiding? For me, it was my feelings, my inadequacies, the things that would tear me apart. Because, I was thinking about it, it's like the way I would talk to myself is not a way I would talk to myself out loud to other people, because they would just put me in my spot. But in my isolation, it just breeds that negativity in my brain. So coaching, I was encouraged to make a video on why I love coaching. So I think it's just really important, and I think with you following me, that you've realized that coaching has done so much more for me, and something that it's done for me is not live on a lonely island. So I'm a go-getter. I am going to be successful if I want to be. I don't need anyone to hold my hand. I'm resourceful. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. I will step outside of my comfort zone. I'll do things that require sacrifice, because I can do it. I can do it by myself. But coaching has taught me that it is okay to admit your weaknesses. Admitting your weaknesses doesn't make you weak. You being vulnerable and asking for help does not make you weak. I try to get and have it all together. Lately, in this last year probably, but specifically these last 6 months, I've been allowing myself to be more vulnerable, share my struggles, especially with my team, because I think a lot of times they look at me and just be like, what the heck, you're freaking invincible. Like, you set a goal, you crush it. That's just what happens. But I don't share the struggle of crushing those goals. So when you're looking at me and looking at my journey, oh yeah, I've lost 30 pounds. I quit my job a year and a half into the business, top 100, elite coach, all these things. And if you don't know that terminology, that's okay. Giving yourself 130% raise, that is the highlighted reel. That looks real fancy, but something that I've been able to realize is getting there's a whole lot of stumbling blocks. So I think too, where it's like you paint this picture of perfection and you paint this picture of it's going to be easy. I had someone message me yesterday and say, I don't think I'm meant to be a coach because I'm a failure, or I failed at this. And I messaged them and I said, no, you have to change your mindset, change your life. You are going to fail a ton of times. You're going to fail so many times. But the thing is, when you pick yourself back up and you learn through that process, it's not about that end result. It's not about what you get to, but it's about how you get there. So for me to be able to share this with you is on my heart, because if you're following me, you get my vibe, right? And I have to say, I have tons of weaknesses, but coaching is helping me recognize those weaknesses and be able to turn them into strengths. And if I can't turn them into strengths, I lean on the people in my life through this community to help me with those weaknesses, and they're able to talk to me through it. I had one of my best friends message me and say, Julianne, I am so proud of your vulnerability, because I know that is not easy for you. Because you're allowing yourself to be more vulnerable, you're actually getting stronger. And I was like, thank you for saying that, because that was so hard for me. So if you find yourself in isolation, it's either from insecurity, right, or a defense mechanism because of an inadequacy. And I think it's just so important to realize that it's okay to be independent. It's okay to really want to do well. However, it's not okay to want to be a perfectionist. And the thing is we're not perfect, you guys, and we're going to have those weaknesses, but when you can identify them and you can bring them to life, it loses its power. For me, being vulnerable in my head, I thought that was a bad thing. It made me weak, right? Which is such a lie. It is such a lie, but when you can bring that to truth and to face it, it loses its power. So for me, I was really good at isolation and being on my only island of independence and figuring it out. And that doesn't mean I'm gonna want someone to hold my hand. I'm gonna still keep on going and pushing really hard, but at the same time, and being like, man, guys, I struggled hardcore. I've been struggling with homesickness. In fact, today I was a brat, dropping off Eric and feeling sorry for myself. And so I have those moments. And I'm learning to be vulnerable with those moments. And I'm being vulnerable with my weaknesses, because someone like me likes to be strong all the time. But this is where I tricked myself for so long. I thought admitting my isolation weakness, or my all this kind of stuff weaknesses, that it made me weak, but it doesn't. Hey Charlie, hey Shelby, thank you. You guys, I didn't wash my hair. I'm avoiding that. I put on makeup today, put on a sweater and jeans. Who am I? My in-laws are coming to town, like I said at the beginning of this video, so I'm trying to get some work done, but I'm just really feeling called to tell you, if you are finding yourself struggling with your weaknesses and putting yourself on a lonely island, it's only going to fuel this insecurity, and it's going to make you feel like absolute crap. Like you are not going to make it through it if you're just going to continue to put yourself there. And it's okay to admit your weaknesses. That doesn't make you weak. In fact, I think it makes you stronger. So for me, coaching has allowed me to embrace my weaknesses, when before I would have just avoided them and pretended like they weren't there. So coaching is so much more than health and fitness, you guys. It's so much more than nutrition. This community has taught me so much about who I am and who I want to be. And at the end of the day, I just want to be 1% better. I want to be better than who I was yesterday. I want to look at my weaknesses, my failures, all those things yesterday and embrace them. I have learned so much that failure is such a good thing. Quitting is a totally different thing. That is, you have to program your mind not to quit. But the amount of times I've failed, it just has taught me so much about my strength, and it's taught me so much about my drive and my passion, and it's taught me so much about my fight. So I'm just here to send you some encouragement. If you're following me, please only follow me because you feel empowered that you can do this too, that there is enough success for us all. Please unfollow me and defriend me if you find yourself comparing yourself to me and feeling defeated by my messaging. We're just not meant to click, and that's okay. My biggest thing is I just want you to feel like you can do anything and live beyond your limitations. All right, have an amazing Friday. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for supporting me. And I just hope I can be doing that same thing to you. Have an awesome day. Talk to you later.